As I continue on with these ginger jeans in this gorgeous stretch denim, we're going to start with the back, getting that yoke on. It's such a nice detail on the back of jeans. Of course, lots more top stitching. Now, I am notorious for not always transferring my markings, which is why I was laying the pattern back on just to help me get the correct alignment on the pockets before they get top stitched on. And now we move on to this back seam. Now, the main thing I'm focusing on is getting these yoke seams as lined up as we can. It's always worth taking time on details like that. We're going to sew that up before basting up the side seams so we can do our first fit check. Now, I knew that these were going to be too big on the waist. I raised the rise because I like things to come to my true natural waist, which means I anticipated having to take it in. So all I'm doing is with them on my body, I'm pinning them in so that I can take in that back seam and the side seams, which is why I didn't top stitch the back seam before I began. I'm trying them on again after making those changes. It's fitting so much better. So I'm going to finalize those seams that I've basted. I could at this point have undone them so that I could have had a top stitch on my inner seam, but I didn't feel passionately enough about it. So I'm moving on to putting on the waistband, which, because I have made the waist significantly smaller, I am expecting it to be too big. You wouldn't normally get that level of overhang. I've made sure that my overhang is symmetrical and that I've not allowed the tops of the trousers to stretch out. I'm re-pulling them back in with this waistband so I get a nice snug fit. We're going to finish these front edges, always making sure we trim and miter with bulky fabrics like this. It's really necessary before we start preparing to top stitch this waistband. It's all in the pinning here, making sure that we're catching that under edge whilst keeping our pins on the top side for ease. And now the debate. The button debate is always a button debate for me. I find it so hard to make these sorts of choices. Hopefully you all think I've made the right one. Buttonhole goes on, totally in the final straight at this point where we're popping on the hems, getting these belt loops ready to attach onto the top. I considered not putting them on, but I'd already made them. That felt like it would be a daft decision. They're really easy to attach. Nice little seam at the top, fold them down, tuck them under, top stitch to finish. And actually, I think it finishes these off just beautifully. Because without further ado, we have the finished jeans. Honestly, I am obsessed. I am absolutely in love with them. I think they fit really, really well. And I'm so pleased that I increased that rise because these are sitting exactly where I like a jean to fit. Now, I have decided that I think I'm more likely to wear these cuffed. Let me show you. See, I could have made the legs much slimmer fit on these, but actually I like the way that these are sitting. Now I just need to figure out what top to make to go with them.